Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Charlie Pankey again with Sierra Rec Now Podcast. Thanks for joining us wherever you're at today. We hope the Sierra is within your view. We are super excited as we reach the last part of August here to start kicking off our fall calendar and our fall experiences in Sierra. And I have a great guest from you today. We're going to be talking about balloon races and festivals in Reno and lots of great things to do. But as always, I couldn't do this without my sponsors. And I wanted to thank the Visit Carson Valley for being with us on this partnership. Obviously, it's our home base, and we love getting out and exploring the great wide open from here in the Carson Valley. So before we get started today, let me Good, very good. Hey, I am super excited today, folks, wherever you're listening at today, that you don't very often get to talk with an old friend, an old colleague, if you will. And today I have the president and director of the Reno Balloon Festival, Pete Copeland, with us. Pete and I worked together 17 years ago now, Pete.
Wow.
17 years. Oh, maybe 15 years since I left the company. You worked there a little longer, but been a while, my friend. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, how long you been with the Reno Balloon Festival?
Well, I've been here now about 14, 15 years now as executive director.
So you've seen the program continue to grow, and you guys have made changes over the years. I know a few years back I got to come up and ride a balloon with you guys. It's just a phenomenally great event.
Yeah.
How's that been for you as a career change? Has that been a lot of fun?
Well, 15 years is like a lifetime. So, I mean, I've seen a financial crisis. We've seen a pandemic, but we've seen great strides in the event is making it a viable event that has longevity and keeps that same pulse of always being free and fun and something family oriented. So a lot of tweaks, a lot of changes, but some of the things are just the same, and they're beautiful balloons up in the sky.
Absolutely. Right? One of the things I've always loved about living here, and Pete and I, but you probably agree, is that we get to the fall season, right? We get to that shoulder season when we love all the tourists, but it kind of slows down a little bit around here. But what's awesome is on 395, all the festivals kick off, right? The Reno Balloon Festival, the premier event, is always one of the big kickoffs right after August nights, right? So this premier fall event, and then we just go into several other candy dances and things going down 395. And it really is a great time to bring families out and explore and see the Sierra in different lights. From a crowd standpoint, how many people come to the Reno Balloon Festival every year? Do you guys have an estimate on that?
Yeah, it's a free event, so it's hard to get an exact estimate, but over the 3 days, we'll put about 150,000 people through the park, which is astonishing. Last year, we had a record. We can tell by many elements. There's a lot of matrix to it, but our Saturday, Sunday last year was a record. Weather was good. Yeah. We had no fires, which always helps, with attendance. But you put good weather out there with a wonderful ballooning event like we've got here. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how the community rallies to this. And it's a tourist driver. It's an economic driver for tourism. So it's a win-win.
I remember the balloon pilot that you guys sent me up with. And this was about 4 years ago. I think I went maybe 3 years ago. It was my first time ever going up in a balloon. So he did a great job of calming me down. But he was telling me that he flies all over the world, and Reno, if not the best, it's one of the top 3 flying destinations across the planet in his opinion. He thought the air around here and just the people in the event was so spectacular. You can't wait to come back every year. So
you just took the words right out of my mouth, Charlie. That's perfect. I'm going to hire you for the program.
Yeah, right.
So the pilots revere this as one of the best premier events in the world. Dawn Patrol flight, even though they do them at Albuquerque, the Dawn Patrol flight here is considered the best event in the world. And these are the top 8 pilots we have out there doing it. Mm-hmm. Like these guys really know what they're doing. And I shouldn't say these pilots, because some of those pilots are female. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is the premier event. It's an invitation only.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have to have many criteria to get into this event, a minimum amount of hours. You've got to have a safe flying record, and you've got to just answer some really basic questions from us. Like, you got to fly. That's great that you're an experienced pilot, but you got to fly the way we need you to fly, because it's really good, but it can also be really tricky sometimes because of the air currents and the downflows that come off the Sierra. So not to be long-winded, it's the best pilots in the world.
Well, and you guys aren't that far away from the airport as well. So I imagine just the pure communication around Reno's got to take a lot of work during the event. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you mentioned that. We just to show you the sophistication of this event, we actually have a pilot, one of our flight operations pilots will be sitting on the stage. He's actually got an FAA official behind him, and we're talking live with the tower at the airport because if something happens, they'll divert traffic. Like if the winds drift out towards the flight lanes, we'll reroute traffic and have it come in from the south. So it's a very sophisticated, orchestrated event,
right? Us common fans, we would never know that. We just look up and see the pretty balloons and go, wow, how cool is this, right?
Right. People just show up and it goes, but we've got a waiver. We've got a waiver over the park. For example, you can't fly drones, even though we have a drone operator, the public can't fly drones over the event because there's an FAA waiver. These are considered non-fixed wing aircraft. These are pilots. So you got to get their pilot license. So when you have 100 of these in the air, you got to have like a lot of things working for you to keep it safe. And knock on wood, we've got a good track record.
Well, that's the one thing I got to fly down here in Minden this year too. And we were talking to pilots. It's amazing that the layers of wind, right? So they can find 100 feet in difference in elevation. They find wind going completely different directions at different speeds, and they're so good at maneuvering to these different wind pockets and getting their balloons to go in a general direction that they want it to go in. So
it's funny. Our county partners, they did a time-lapse video. You can find it on YouTube. And what the difference with ours is our time-lapse videos, our pilots can fly back to the park, for example. And it's really amazing because they're catching wind currents where Albuquerque, and I just use that as a barometer. Albuquerque doesn't have those things. So when they fly to Albuquerque, they just fly off. So it's really different winds, and people would never realize all these different things and how sophisticated it is.
Very cool. It's really a neat background. This year, you guys are doing something really cool. It's part of your heritage to showcase somebody or something every year. This year, you have a focus on women. You want to dive in a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a great one. So this year, women play an integral part in our industry and within our event itself. And there's many layers to this, but this year as a theme, what we're doing is we're honoring women in aviation. And we have, I believe, 14 female pilots of the 85 that we have or so are female. One flies Dawn Patrol, which is one of the most difficult things to do. Our flight operations director, who's been with us for over 20 years, Katie Griggs, is considered one of the top, not even female pilots, just top pilots in the world. And it's just amazing. And so it's a good time. They have such an impact in our industry that it just seemed right. And we're excited about the program.
That's really cool. I didn't realize that there was such a big, big influence of women in this industry. Because every time I've gone up as a guy, so obviously you get limited knowledge base yourself as you're searching that. So anything really cool this year that's different for fans and audience that are coming to the balloon event to the experience that might be new this year to share?
Yeah. Well, for us, the big thing is we always want to bring as many new shapes as possible. Special shapes are the big thing. Balloons in general, because we'll have a lot of fan favorites, but we'll have a lot of new balloons. But special shapes are the big deal. And I think we have the most special shapes we've ever had, certainly the most I've ever had in my tenure. But
that's great.
Yeah, so special shape balloons are the things, and we've got a couple balloons that Fire Dog and that look like Paw Patrol. And now these are big deals for those little kids,
right?
Because that's our customers, little kids and their soccer mom, right? They're the ones you want to come out but special shapes are good. But in addition to that, we're going to be celebrating the 80th birthday of Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear has been one of the fan favorite balloons. He's been with us for over 30 years. It's the second rendition of the balloon. So from that perspective, we're super excited. We got a partnership with the Renovation Foundation this year that we're going to be tethering for kids, which is a big part of it. I mean, kids are everything in our world. So those things are fun.
And Renovation is Jeremy Renner, right? That's the Renovations.
The Renovation Foundation, right? So we're partnering with them. So we've got quite a few things like that are going on that I think are going to be super good for kids. And then this year, one of the things that we're doing, Charlie, is right now we have a 3-day event with 1 day for media.
Yep.
You flew in the media day.
Yep.
We're ultimately going to, because the events become so popular, we're actually going to start converting the media day into a pseudo event day. We'll still do the media flight, but in a couple of years, you may see a dawn patrol on the media flight. You may see something special with special shapes. So this year we're opening it up to the public and inviting the public in and offering them free VIP parking. We'll have our merchandise tent open. We'll have some concessions in. And if you don't want to fight the traffic, you'll be able to come in, or fight the crowds. You'll be able to come in and see all these beautiful balloons, a 70 balloon mass ascension without all the people around. And so we're going to be expanding the event with the goal of, it's going to be a 4 full day event. And I think the community is going to love it because it's going to give them 4 days and 4 opportunities to get out there.
Pete, I love that. I've told people many times that are close to me that one of my favorite parts was being there when they're getting the balloons out of the trailers. The sun's barely cresting over the mountain. You really watch sunrise, and then to see all the balloons come up from the ground while that's phenomenal to me. That the operations are so smooth. It's just so unique to see these massive balloons fill up. And then just like that, they're in the air and going. It's like, wow, this is crazy. You know, the flying is incredible. If you've never been in a balloon, highly recommend to find a program. You can do it at the event. I think there's some VIP packages you can buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tahoe Balloons is a place you can go, and they actually are partnered with us last year, and they were down in the Minden event. You referenced that earlier, the Minden event, and they can do rides, and it's really reasonable. I think it's $500 a person or something, and that's to buy them direct from us, they were around $2,500. So this gives the fan the opportunity to get up close, and that was something we were missing. So there are opportunities for rides out there.
I saw an event on your website, and I apologize for the years you guys have probably done it. I didn't even know, but there's something about a tissue paper launch that you do with the school program here. Can you explain that a little bit? That sounds really cool that you do with the schools.
So this is a tissue paper launch, is a 32 or 33-year-old program, that partnership that we have with Washoe County School District. And what we do is the classrooms, the 5th grade classrooms here, they actually build hot air balloons out of tissue paper. So it goes to show you how fine the material is, but how durable it can be in the right setting. So they'll build these tissue paper, usually about 8 or 10 balloons per classroom. And then on Friday morning of the event around 9:30, we set up on one of the main fields. We set up this whole launching stations, and we'll bring out upwards of 2,000 kids to come out and help and launch these balloons. And it's amazing. It's part of the STEM and science program within the school district, which they don't teach quite as much anymore. So it's that. And what it really ties into, what I like, Charlie, about it is it ties into the history of flight in Northern Nevada. The air races are leaving, but the history isn't. And, Chuck Yeager was flying jets out instead in the 50s here. Right. So we were born out of the air races, so we can continue that legacy that the air races won't be able to anymore. And so, all these things, tissue paper, teaching flight, all kind of ties in.
I love that. I of course used to love our 5th grade program. We had the newspaper, so that's really cool. The STEM program, Reno, since you've been a director, but for the history of the event, which is like the 43rd year, correct?
43rd year.
That's right. Reno has changed a lot in 43 years, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this before our call. I says, how much has the population change in growth in Reno affected the event? Has it made it harder to do the event, easier? Do you notice any effect from the traffic or crowds or whatever that is? So,
well, definitely encroachment, just growth. I mean, the event is 43 years old. I mean, I think when the event started, the whole, I can't remember, but the development wasn't even close to where it was around the park.
Yeah.
That whole hillside to the northeast of us wasn't there. So definitely it has had some impact. We used to launch more balloons. We used to be over 100 balloons. Now we bring it down to, just around or under 100, just so it's a little safer. Safety is our number one thing. If we can't do it safe, we're just not going to do it. We've also found that it's not always about the volume of balloons. It's something about the types of balloons. And that's why I emphasize special shapes, because they want to see a lot of balloons, but our fans tell us they want to see Darth Vader balloon. They want to see the Paws Patrol balloon. They want to see Angry Bird balloon. Like, they want their special guests, right?
It's like their Macy Days parade here in Reno, right? It's like their balloon shape.
Yeah. I think about a few years ago, we had a balloon that looked just like Horton the Who from Dr. Seuss. And every year we get unbelievable amount of feedback. Bring this balloon back, and we try to wait every 2 or 3 years to give it a gap and then bring it back for some anticipation. But so, yeah, it's a lot of special shapes.
That's fun. That's a lot of fun. So let's just assume maybe some of our listeners haven't been to the event before. Maybe they're coming in from the Bay Area and have always thought, well, maybe I should go to Reno for this. What's what run down the schedule, like logistic the schedule? Maybe talk about some parking, or maybe some tips you would have for first time visitors.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. First thing I would do, and I'll repeat this, is renoballoon.com has tips how to use the event. But short of that, and it's really well detailed, but the things I would tell folks is get there early, get your route ahead of time. We have a lot of general parking and it really moves fast, but you just got to get there early, because you're surprised how many people are going to be there, especially on the weekend. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we love our pets. Don't bring your pets to this. It's not only is it dangerous for all the kids in the dark, but it's bad for the pets, the hair, the friction. You got a lot of fuel out there. Nothing good will happen. We're really fortunate that we have some special viewing areas for people with ADA. So that's really good. So if they do have a special needs dog, there is areas outside of the pasture they can bring them and set there. But I think that's the thing. Smoking, we don't allow smoking out on the field. Be smart. Don't bring your drones. Leave your drones at home. You don't want to fly your drone there, please. Yeah, it's just not safe. And that's the one area that the FAA really gets tough. But get there early, bundle up. And if you can't bring food and beverage, we have lots of food and beverage. If you forgot that favorite sweatshirt, I got one that's going to be.
Are you going to show it off? Is there swag that everybody wants?
I should have been going like, you could buy this. I mean, let's go right over here so I could drag her over here and say, here.
Have her just pop it over top of your head there.
There you go.
But, I like it. I like it. Yeah. It's such a great event, right? So one thing that I missed growing up with the kids, we're only 45 minutes south, but never took the kids up to it for whatever reason. Yeah. And so until they were grown up, and now we go, man, what an opportunity missed to see these balloons, the glow event. Right. That's always one of my favorites now, to see the glow event happen. It's like, it really is a great family atmosphere to take kids.
Yeah. And there's so many ways you can enjoy it. And here's the thing that we pride ourselves on with this event, and I really like it, is you could literally come into the event for a minimal donation. If you've got our general parking's $25, you could get the 50-yard line seat with your own. I mean, you can just see everything, and it's so up close and personal. And that's what I think about is really special. And I want to, Charlie, I'm just going to touch on a couple things too, real quick. And we're talking families here. I want to mention a few things because we're such a family-oriented event. This year, we're going to be handing out these friendship bracelets, really big, right? Okay. If the Taylor Swift world, you're out there. Yeah. We've got on each morning, our DJs will be doing dance parties, the MCs for it, our announcers and stuff. And so it's just really an amazing family-oriented event. And if you're not careful, you might get caught into some kind of a hot to go flash dance on one day. So just be ready.
You do not want to see me breaking the move, man.
I think I had to do a break the move in a video, so it was okay.
Nice. Very nice. And then just remind everybody which park it's at. Is all the parking at that park, or do you guys have shuttles, people bringing people in?
Well, there are a couple locations. If you go to our website, I know Shields has RTC runs on Friday, and there's I think Summit has it, but we have plenty of parking inside the park. Again, it's just for a minimal donation.
Yep.
Go to our website, renoballoon.com. It will show you where to enter. It will show you how to go in. We have professional parkers out there. We move the line really quick. If you get in line by 4:30, you should be in the park by the time we start the first program.
And just so everybody know, that's 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Got to be there early, right?
Yes.
Now, have you looked at weather forecast for for 2 weeks out yet? Are we looking?
Well, I never worry about things I can't control.
Nice.
But the Farmer's Almanac has been a really good friend to me lately, and it's telling me it's going to be a good year. And so I'm going to trust in the Farmer's Almanac. I'm going old school on you.
That's okay. I've looked at the weather personally. I know it's supposed to be in the 90s that day. They're saying, but we'll see what the morning's like. It could be like 47 in the morning. So
we're feeling pretty optimistic, and should be good.
Should be ready, because your worst enemy is what? Windstorms and you weather that way. That's your worst enemy, right?
You know what? We don't have any worst enemies.
Oh, I like that, Pete.
They never show up. We don't even think in that line.
Don't even speak them out.
Amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, Pete, most of our listeners are outdoor adventure travel seekers and stuff, and you're from Reno area, and I know this event is going to bring a lot of people in. It's a 3-day event, but the balloon festival, really the majority happens in the first couple hours of the day. What do people do the rest of the day in Reno? You got any tips or advice for things to see or do in town, or does the event have anything going on, afternoon wise?
We are, the good thing about us is we're about quality over quantity. And like we're done by 11 o'clock and we're tired. We've been there since 1 o'clock, but we just want to put on a great morning balloon festival. Yep. But beyond that, there's some great things. Our partners over at UNR, they have a football game. The camel races, we work closely with the camel races, up in Virginia City. That's a great thing to do. The fall is wonderful here. There's so many great hiking trails. There's wild waters for the family. There's all these great things to do. So I don't believe you're going to have a short of anything going on.
No, I didn't know there was a football game going on. That adds to that play too.
Yeah, I actually even think they have the Pride Parade going on that weekend as well. So, there's something for everyone. And I think that's what makes this an amazing place to live. That's why we stayed, right?
Exactly.
After our other careers, we stayed go to the lake. This is when there's no crowds. September, are you kidding me? You can actually get into Garwoods or Sunnyside.
You could, exactly.
For them, maybe I'll get some kind of promo for them. There's places to go.
None of those guys are sponsoring this event today.
Right. Or Carson Valley, right?
Yeah. But you're right. That's one of the reasons why we stick around, right? There's so many things to do. We're the home of the triple, right? You can get up in the morning and it depends on the season. You can ski, you can fish, you could golf, you could ride a bike. You can go see
all
one day. Right? Yeah.
All in one day.
So bring all your toys, as I like to tell everybody as they're heading this way. So
yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah. But now I don't. It's been a long time since you and I talked. So are you a hiker, biker, golfer? What is your favorite outdoor adventure thing?
I'm a golfer, right? I'm getting up there, but I'm a golfer. But the other thing is I do like to hike, and I love the Gold Lakes Basin area. I love the Tahoe Basin area. I love heading down to the Bridgeport area. I mean, this whole region. You mentioned Kernville. It's funny. You go all the way to Kernville. I fish. That's the other thing. My son and I are big fishermen, so we fish everything in this area. All
right, so here you go. We're gonna throw that. So they're gonna come for the balloon festival in the morning. They're bringing their fishing poles. Where's the quick trip to go fishing?
I'm hitting the Truckee River, man.
Truckee River.
There. And you know what? If you're done at the balloon race at 9 o'clock in the morning in the fall, those big hogs are just coming out. So you're gonna success.
Now you're speaking the love language of my audience, Pete. Right there.
Yeah.
Where's the fishing hole at? Yeah. And you don't even have to go very far to get down the river from there. So
there's some big browns in that river. I'm telling you what, man. So
and they've got the option to go to Tahoe for Mackinac. They go out to Pyramid Lake, even that it's not too far out. And you've got a lot of options, right?
Right. Gold Lakes Basin. We just mentioned that. You want to take your fly gear, go lightweight, want to go for some bigger fish. Yeah, we have everything here. I love to fish the Sierra. I love the Sierra.
And mountain bikers, bring your mountain bikes. There's a lot of mountain biking in Reno, a lot of trails right there from the park.
Rancho San Rafael has great trails. And, even when we're done, like when the event's over at 10, 11 o'clock, you can still bring your mountain bikes out. Like you can still access many things of the park to go out and have fun. And we love that. Take your disc golf. I love disc golf, right?
Do they have a disc golf course out there?
They do have a disc golf course on the upper side of Rancho San Rafael Park. Rancho San Rafael Park is amazing. Like,
it's huge, isn't it?
The Arboretum is beautiful. They've got the ponds. It's a really amazing facility.
I agree. Every time I'm there, I remind myself, going, boy, this is one of those gyms that you don't use enough, right? You just like, oh, I forgot that was here, So
absolutely.
But absolutely fantastic. Well, Pete, we are coming up on 30 minutes. And the way I end my show and talk about my show every time is when I want to make sure you give you a last word on your event. But I have 3 questions I ask everybody. It's not going to have anything to do with Balloon Festival, but you can tie it any way you want to. Okay. So let me do this. Anything else you'd like the fans to know out there or guests to know about the festival coming up? I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah. Go to our website, renoballoon.com. Go to the tip side of it. Learn how to use the event. If you have a VIP parking pass, make it easy on yourself by doing a little bit of homework on the front end, and it'll make your experience far, far better. So that's all I would say to our fans. We're going to put on one heck of a program. So get ready. This year's going to be special.
Do you have a favorite memory in 15 years of working there? Favorite memory of a morning at the park and the balloons?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
You're always working.
I have a one memory. I would say I have so many good memories of putting it on. One doesn't really stand out.
How many volunteers do you need for that event?
We probably have 1,000 at when we're all said and done. There's so many volunteers that come in at different levels that are even outside of our organization.
Great.
So I would say, probably 1,000, all the crew, all the volunteers that help the pilot. The pilots need about 6-7 people each. So think of 100 balloons. There's 600 right there.
Yeah. I never thought about it that way, actually, with the balloon guys.
It definitely takes a village.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe we should take an opportunity to say thank you for all the volunteers who do come out and to help us put that event on. Right?
Big shout out to the volunteers. We couldn't do it without them. Couldn't do it without them.
So. All right, Pete, here's my 3 hard questions for you. Okay. All right. Assume your bag is packed. Now I know all the things you like to do. You're going to go home tonight. The bag's packed. You have a weekend to yourself before the event in the Sierra. Where are you heading and why?
To the Sierra?
Yeah, you're going to be in the Sierra.
Oh, I might actually go do that. I'm going to go down to June Lake, and I'm going to go get me a boat, and I'm going to go sit off the rock, and I'm going to throw my line out, and then I'm going to get into the lilies and throw my fly line out. And so
June Lake's beautiful, man. Good choice.
June Lake's amazing, and it's 2 hours away, and I'm going to take Alec with me, my son Alec, and he's just out of the Navy, and we're going to sit there and talk about he's grown up down there.
That's fantastic. Catching those trout and browns. I love that. I like that. All right. So you get done with a great day of fishing with Alec down wherever you're at in the Sierra. I'm a big foodie. I love a big cheeseburger after I'm done hiking, right? Favorite place to grab a snack or favorite food after your big adventure?
Well, I'm like you. I'm a foodie, man. I can't stay away from In-N-Out as it is, but but I like a good cheeseburger. My son would be all about, let's go to the Tiger Bar and go have a big steak.
Okay, there you go. Big steak at the Tiger Bar. I haven't done that, so I'm going to try that out. So very good. And final question. This is a gear question, so you can go all kinds of different directions here. Us guys who like outdoors, we like our gear. What piece of gear don't you leave home without? What's like your go-to piece of gear? Like I'm a map guy. I never leave home without my maps. So.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. What gear do I never go without? Oh, man. I probably, if I'm out on about, is my little fishing kit survival gear. So is that, it's like
that works perfect.
Match, it's got the little match thing. It's got the little fishing line and all that. But I think that's in my backpack all the time when I'm
just
out.
Carry it everywhere you go, right?
Yeah. Perfect. Whenever I'm fishing or hiking, I've got my one survival backpack.
That's perfect. Yeah. So, all right. Let's remind everybody real quick here before we shut down here. The event is on Thursday, September 5th through the Sunday night, right? So,
5th through the 8th is the dates. Again, go to our website, renoballoon.com. We'll have all that information on there.
Very good. If you've never been to the Reno Balloon Festival, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this event. It really is one of the West's best events, hands down across the West. Growing up in Oregon and California and all these places, it's one of my favorites. It's pretty spectacular. Pete, we want to thank you so much for taking your time. We know you're busy getting this thing ready to go in 2 weeks. So thanks for giving me 30 minutes of your time and sharing with our audience.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
we hope you have a great event this year.
Yeah, thank you. And it was good. It's good catching up again.
Absolutely, man. It was old faces and new places. What can I say?
All right.
Very good.